What is up, everybody? Renfail here. I'm back again with some more Robin Hood Sherwood builders, and today I wanted to talk about the 5 things that I really like about this game, the 5 things that I love, which I think make this a game worth playing. Obviously, if you already have Game Pass, it's kind of a no-brainer because it's included in your subscription, but if you don't have Game Pass, the question is, should I buy this game or not? I've kind of talked about that in other videos, so one of the things I hopefully I can at least demonstrate to you today are some of the things I really love about this game. Even though it is an indie title, it has some jank, it has some issues that plague it. It is still nevertheless a fun crafting, survival, base building RPG, all tied into one. So without further ado, let's dive into it. If it's your first time here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams happen here and on Twitch. There's also a Patreon and a Discord. So, see you guys over there as well. Without further ado, let's get into the top 5 things. One of the things I really love about this game is the depth of the passive skill tree. And that is this area right here where you can go in and you can check out the different paths that you can follow. So the path of dexterity, the path of shadows, the path of endurance, path of the arrow, path of craftsmanship, or the path of the blade. Now, each one of these paths gives you a different series of bonuses. So this is more about setting up these passive bonuses that allow you to enhance your character in ways that you see fit and really focus on the type of gameplay that suits you. So if you're going to go heavy on the stealth side, then you're going to want to put points into the stealth side of gameplay. You're going to go heavy into like assassination builds and sneak attacks, then you're going to want to put points in that area. Or if you're going to go pure sword play and not deal with the bow at all, you put all your points in sword play. Or maybe you're going to be somebody who focuses more on craftsmanship and harvesting as opposed to adventuring. Maybe that's the way you want to play the game. There are lots of different ways to play this game and a lot of different ways that you can spec your character based on the passive skills. Once you've got your skills, right now you can see in the middle of my screen, the ones that are surrounded in orange are the ones I've already purchased. The ones in red are ones that I can purchase because they're adjacent to ones that I've already purchased, but I can't purchase yet because I don't have the points. And the red ones will become green ones when I have enough points to spend. Right now I have 0 available points because I just dinged level 6, so I would need to earn more levels to get more points to go that. But then you can scroll down here and look here and look through so you can see your base stats here, your max energy and everything else on the far right. Then you get onto it and you can see what have I taken from the path of endurance. What kind of path of endurance bonuses do I have? What kind of path of the blade bonuses do I have? What kind of path of the arrow bonuses do I have? Path of dexterity bonuses, path of craftsmanship bonus, so on and so forth all the way down. This is a pretty cool system. It's pretty in-depth. There's a lot going on here. You can max this tree out completely if you wanted to, just through going around and doing everything in the game if you really want to do a completionist version, but that would take a ton of time, and I don't know if anybody is actually going to ever accomplish that. I'm sure there will be some people out there who want 100% this game. Mortisalba Gaming often does 100% build, so maybe he'll do it, but otherwise this is just something where you can focus on the aspects of the gameplay. I personally like a lot of the bow stuff, so I've taken stuff of the path of dexterity, but I also like craftsman stuff, so I've taken stuff over here to help speed up my mining, give me a better yield on harvesting trees and stuff, and I've also taken some bowman stuff to focus on my bow damage. I don't really do sword play if I can avoid it, so that's just the way I've spec'd my character, but you could do that as you see fit. Next up is I just love the way the game looks. We're in Sherwood Forest right now, and the premise of this game is that you've already established your base, which is back here in this little town. And part of your job is to expand your base, because the way that the RPG mechanics tie into this is that if you want skills, you have to build structures. In order to build structures, you need resources, and in order to get resources, you have to harvest those resources. And so once you realize that's the aspect of the building game, you very much realize that this is the center of your life, is this structure right here, this base. And then we're going to build out from here. So these are some of the structures I've built. I've got a couple of these stairwells up, or places where my people live, and then these structures are like the furnace and things. But I love the way Sherwood Forest looks. And right now we're out here and it's kind of rainy. And I've shown this off in other videos. The sunrise and sunset when the sun is coming through the woods, it's quite breathtaking. And the reality is that there's a lot of woods to discover. If you go onto the map here, I gotta remember which one opens the map. Here it is. It's a big map. Like Robin's Village is up here in the top right, all right? And there's 4 regions that we can explore, and each one has a slightly different looking biosphere. But overall, we are dealing with the thick of the forest where we're at right now, and then we get out into the rolling fields of England, and you'll see much different landscapes. But for an indie title, I've been genuinely pleased with how well this game looks as you run around the woods. It's not AAA by any means, but I would definitely give this like AA look and feel. You can hear the bubbling of the brook. Like, it's all done. It's very aesthetically pleasing to the eye and to the ear. And that's something that I can appreciate in any game, but especially when they can manage to make it feel so cozy, if that makes sense. And the forest is still dangerous, but I mean, it just looks beautiful running around in it. Being able to hunker down and sneak through the grass and hunt, deer and boar and bandits, and it's all a lot of fun. But it does look good, and I find that when games have a good visual background to them, they can make it feel like home, a place you want to immerse yourself in. And I've been very pleasantly pleased with how this game feels. We're actually getting some sunlight now coming up through. We're getting some rays here, some god rays at some point. So this is what I'm talking about. Excuse me. As we can look around here as the day-night cycles through, and the rain and everything else. Like, visually, I just think the game looks very good for an indie title. Obviously, AAA has a different level of polish and a different level of assets, but this is one of the things that really they captured the essence of Sherwood Forest in my mind, with the environment audio and the look and feel of the actual forest. I'm sold on that vision. Now, third is the base building element of the game, or the village element. And the reason I like this so much is that it's way more than just your typical crafting survival game where you need to build crafting stations to produce more resources to help you survive, or to get better gear and better armor. Those are all absolutely part of the game. So if you want to be able to make more, if you want to do things with ore, you definitely need to be able to build a blacksmith. If you want to do foods and stuff, you're going to need a kitchen. I've already built the alchemy lab and the furnace, but I haven't done the weaving mill and things of that nature. We've also got the quarry, the lumber mill, the farm, the garden, the butcher, and then we even get into cosmetics. Now, the thing I really love about this, which makes it more than just your traditional crafting survival base building game, is that this system directly ties into the RPG components. What do I mean by that? Well, if you go over here to your active skills, not your passive skills, we talked about those earlier, go to your active skills, you'll see that if you want to learn more sword attacks, you need to have a training grounds, and you train there to learn new things. If you want to learn advanced bow attacks, special attacks for the bow, you need to have a shooting range built, and you must go through and build up your shooting range and earn your skills there. And if you want to have learn things like tracking and animal detection, herb detection, enemy detection, you need to have a trapper's hut built, which will then allow you to train your senses to be able to get everything underneath your belt to be the best Robin Hood you can possibly be out there in the woods. So I love the fact that in order to even get these active skills in the first place, you have to come build them in the village management section, which requires you to go out in the woods and harvest and bring things back and craft. So it all ties in together. So it's not like a traditional crafting survival game where they just have you do crafting and surviving for the sake of it. It's crafting and survival to build buildings, which you need to train up your character's skills to get you deeper into the storyline of the game and the RPG aspect of this game, which is a layer on top of everything. I kind of feel like if you've played Enshrouded, this game does a very good job of what Enshrouded did, but with more active storytelling as opposed to the books and scrolls and things that you find in Enshrouded, which add a layer of RPG element on top of that crafting survival game. I really like the way they've done it here with the village management. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload, or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Now, the next thing I really love about this game is the depth of information we have been given about Robin Hood and everything about Robin's journey, and the fact that they've went deep into the Robin Hood lore and legend to give us a game that feels very much like Robin Hood. We're not Robin Hood at the beginning of his journey. We're Robin Hood when he's well established. He's already got the base built. He's already had encounters with all the nefarious characters we have come to know and love and fear and hate from the Robin Hood tale. So the Sheriff of Nottingham is definitely on his, a bad guy. But we've got things here where we go in and look at all our completed quests, and everything here is very relevant to Robin Hood. And that's something where if you know the Robin Hood myth and lore and legend, you're going to feel very familiar with this game. So for someone like me who grew up on Robin Hood, this is one of the first books I read years ago. And when I was first getting going as a writer, I actually got a project. It was really cool. I worked on it for about 6 months where I took all the different legends of Robin Hood and we built like a Robin Hood Wikipedia back in the early, it was like 2008, 2009. I was building a website in the UK for a client. It was a lot of fun to work on. So this game appealed to me because I love Robin Hood. And if you go in here to like the letters and things you'll find around and the history of things that that you can find, and everything has well written tutorials and information about it. And you'll run around and you'll find bulletin boards and things like this where we can take notes. And the interesting thing is that originally this was all, as I understand it, written in Polish and then transcribed into English for the English audience. So there's a ton of information that they took and did it in their native language for the developers and then translated it into English for the English audience. And I appreciate the amount of writing that has been done and the attention to detail in terms of bringing things to life with Robin Hood at his, core story being there and already established as a character. Way too many games would have, had you started out as like the beginning of Robin Hood's journey and you're going to forge your own destiny. And this comes in and says, no, we're working with established Robin Hood lore. He's already established in the forest. He's already done these things. He's already fighting against the king and the sheriff. You've got these 4 regions. You got to take over them. And that gets us into the next part. So the 5th thing I love about this game is the fact that the writing that I've seen so far has been, if at the very base level, a little simplistic, because again, it was written in Polish and then transcribed into English as I understand it. It's still very well written, and there's a ton of dialogue and narration and quest lore and all sorts of letters and things you can find around. There's a lot going on. And I also love the fact that even to be able to unlock the main story missions for each region, you have to get to a 40% completion within a region to get to the main story for that region. So which means you're going around doing lots of random things for people and events and things like, robbing caravans and rescuing people who are being hung for the wrong reasons, and you're stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, and you're clearing caves of bandits, and you're hunting for people and helping the people of Sherwood Forest. And all of those quests, some of them are a little simplistic, but they're very well written for an indie team, and I think that's something that should be praised. Now, going hand in hand with that is the fact that even though, and I have criticized the quality of the voice acting in this game, because only, as far as I'm aware, only the main character is voiced by an actual actor. Everybody else is done with a voice-to-text program, which has varying results. Some of it's pretty good, some of it's not so good. But I want to give credit where credit is due, because way too many games would rather not have any voice acting in the game whatsoever rather than use a text-to-speech program. And I think a text-to-speech program, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money and fine-tune it and tweak it, you can get pretty decent results, as we have seen with this game, if you don't have the budget for a full voice cast, because a full voice cast does cost a ton of money. But in this case, they said we're going to voice our main character with a professional voice actor, and everything else is going to be voice to text, which
this place is slowly beginning to feel like home.
Some of it sounds pretty good.
Greatly to your credit.
And I want to give credit to them because the game is fully voiced.
Instead of flattering me, you could take me on one of your adventures. We haven't done it in such a long time.
Now, Maid Marian sounds pretty good because she's one of the main characters, but we have covered this in the stream. There are some non-main characters who sound really bad, but some of them sound pretty good.
And we will. I promise.
But I do want to give credit where credit is due, because they have, at the very least, have tried to provide the player with a really a very rich and deep RPG that gives you tons of writing, tons of narration, And then voice acting, even if it's not the most, enthusiastic in the world, even if it's some voice to text stuff.
Is it time for my tale of the troubles of Barnesdale?
We'll say another time. Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Another time. I'll be back later.
But the fact that it's there and they've taken the time to write so much is a credit to the team, and I think it's something to be celebrated. So at least for my money's worth, those are the 5 things that I really love about Robin Hood Sherwood Builders. I'd love to hear your experience with the game so far, whether you've played it on Game Pass or otherwise. Don't forget to drop those down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Check out all the other videos in the playlist, and hopefully we'll see you in the Discord over at the Patreon. Until next time, everybody, stay safe and happy gaming.